Hello, YouTube. So I was going through my DVD collection a little bit, and I ran across a very special one from my childhood, and that is House of Wax. I love House of Wax. The remake, 2006. I believe 2006 or 2000. Hold on. It could be 2008. But this is a great slasher flick. Chad Michael Murray, Alicia Cuthbert, however you say that. You got John Abrams in there. I love Chad Michael Murray in this movie, so he's a badass. Chad Michael Murray is a fucking badass in this movie. I love House of Wax. I've always loved it. This is one of the best fucking slasher films I grew up with, I would say. The bad guy does a good job. I think there's three brothers. There's three of them. One's got like a. One is sorry. One's got a fucking wax mask. He's got a wax mask. Vincent. He's like a poetic sculptor. He makes sculptures out of things, and they look real. And the whole town is made of sculptures. Like there's real fucking there's real people literally under the fucking wax sculptures. Literally. Chad Michael Murray and his sister, played by I always mispronounce, I butcher that name. Just let me. So it's Chad Michael Murray and Alicia Cuthbert, and our comic relief, actually from Supernatural, one of my favorites, Jared Padalecki, is our first kill, and that was a tough one to watch. Him getting killed like that, turned into a wax figure. But we also got John Abrams, our comic relief, who does a good job. From you'd see in like Meet the Parents and the first Scary Movie with Anna Faris. He does a good job. But I highly recommend House of Wax. I really do. And even if you don't like Paris Hilton, you get a pretty damn good fucking effective slasher kill. You know, she's hiding in the parking garage. She's running. She hides beside a car, and the slasher, our slasher, Vincent, with the wax mask, which I love. I love that for a villain, having a slasher with a wax mask. It's just very effective, very Michael Myers-y. I love it. And she gets a fucking spear through the fucking head, and he records it and shit. This is such a good slasher flick. Hot, sexy, deliciously creepy horror. I love this movie. And yes, they are right. It is hot, sexy, deliciously creepy horror. Like, they're not fucking lying about that. This is a really good film. Do give it a watch. I know people like Vincent Price's original. I get that. I like the original Vincent Price version. I do. But I definitely like this one more. Now, I know people are going to give me shit for that, but I like this one more. Because I like suspense. And on top of it, we have character building. Chad Michael Murray, okay? He plays a douchebag. He plays a fucking douchebag, but you know what? He's actually a pretty good guy. Later on, fighting our killer, protecting his sister, throwing down, doing what needs to be done. He's a badass in this movie. Chad Michael Murray, he's a badass in this movie. And he's willing to protect his sister and do whatever he needs to do. And in the finale, The finale, we get a fucking awesome. We get like not an explosion. I don't want to say an explosion, but we get like the house starts on fire, but like everything in the house is made of wax. There's wax figures, wax chairs, wax fucking everything, wax food, literally. Everything's made of wax, and the whole town is made of wax. And there's dead bodies under the sculptures. I love this movie, and I love how Chad Michael Murray is willing to throw down, grab a fucking crossbow, and just shoot the shit out of the villains. I love it. He's an anti-hero, almost. It's badass. So we got Alicia Cuthbert, Chad Michael Murray, Brian Van Holt, Paris Hilton, who gets a good death, and Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. All well done. Great acting skills. The story was well done. You get a little bit of a backstory with the two brothers, Vincent and I don't really remember the other two brothers' names. Vincent and what are the other two brothers' names? Come on, man. Vincent's my favorite, and that's why I remember him. He's kind of a memorable slasher, if you don't mind me saying. Yeah, I don't know all the killers' names. There was Vincent. There was. I don't think that did they ever say the other one's name. I'm talking like an asshole right now. I don't even remember. But I Vincent was very memorable with the wax mask. Very memorable. But and the whole cast was memorable, by the way. The whole cast. Very good jobs. Super suspenseful. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a short enough movie to where it doesn't bore you. It's short enough to where you can enjoy yourself, but not be too bored, and it's not too long. So there's that, and I like the cover. It's a good cover, and yeah, I love this movie. This came. I was like maybe. I think I was maybe 11 years old. I was maybe 11 years old, and we just gotten cable on the TV, and I was a little restricted in my life, you know. And I came across House of Wax on like and like an HBO channel or something. The first scene I saw was Jared Padalecki getting turned into a wax sculpture. You know, his skin's just getting fucking waxed and shit. And you see Vincent there just like doing his shit. And I was obsessed ever since with this movie. I watched it. Let's just say that I came across horror movies unintentionally. Very unintentionally, I came across horror films. And this is one of them. This is one of those movies that I came across unintentionally, and I enjoyed the fuck out of it. And it's a fucking gem, and I will never deny that. It's a fucking gem. This is a really good movie, and people could talk trash about it all they want, say they like the Vincent Price version more. I like this version more. I'm sorry. I wasn't bored by this one. I like the killing. I like the deaths. Paris Hilton gets her fucking... She gets a fucking spear through her head. That's some Jason Voorhees shit. Like, he's got, like, a fucking spear, and he throws it, and it just crashes through a window and goes right through her head. And I just loved how you got crazy brothers in the town, and they're hunting teens. And it's really survival horror. It's survival horror. I love survival horror. All kinds of survival horror. Shark survival horror. Alligator survival horror. Slasher survival horror. There's all different versions of survival horror. And my favorite would definitely be slasher, though. That's my favorite, slasher survival horror. Another one I like, Wrong Turn. This kind of is like Wrong Turn in a way. I really love House of Wax. I give it a solid fucking. I'll give it a fucking. I'll give it a fucking 8 out of 10. I will. I fucking will. Because I enjoy this movie, and that's my opinion. It's a really well done slasher flick. You got it's campy. You know, you got some teens who are actually good actors, by the way, and not shitty. You know, you got Jared Padalecki in there, who's in our Supernatural, and we like him, and Chad Michael Murray, who I think he played in a show too. I think he played in, what was that fucking show? I remember he played in a fucking show. It wasn't Pretty Little Liars, no. It was, well, whatever it was. I liked him in this role, and I liked him in a lot of other stuff. You know, Freaky Friday. That's actually one I grew up with. Freaky Friday, Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. But yeah, I love the shots on the back, and this movie. You know what? No one actually ever really talks about it. This is another one I'm reviewing. No one really talks about. You don't hear much about, like, oh, House of Wax was awesome. I don't ever hear about it. I love House of Wax, the remake right here. Now, am I shitting on Vincent Price's version? No, I'm not shitting on Vincent Price's version, but I enjoyed this version more, and that's just my honest opinion, and we're allowed to express that. I love how the whole house is made of wax. Again, you get a great finale, the whole house melting with fire at the end, and Alicia Cuthbert and her brother Chad Michael Murray just battling for survival. You get a good brother and sister standoff between the slashers and the brother and the sister, and they're just beating the shit out of each other. Chad Michael Murray throwing down, beating the shit out of the fucking killer, out of the main brother, and he puts up a pretty decent fight, I will say. He puts up a pretty decent fight. Chad Michael Murray is a badass in this film. He really is. That's where I say, like, survival horror. This is survival horror. Like, I like to look at horror movies like this, like a lesson. Like, okay, what would you do in this particular situation? Would you run, and would you hide? Would you scream? Would you be a fucking baby? Or would you go and make yourself useful? You make yourself useful, okay? It's all about productive. But yes, this is my review on House of Wax. We got productive antagonists, Chad Michael Murray and Alicia Cuthbert. Completely reliable in their role and good fighters against their villains. I love this movie. Do recommend. Solid fucking 8 out of 10. At least, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Yes, that's what I'm giving. I know people will shit on my opinion and say that it's wrong, but I don't think so, because I enjoy this. Every time I watch it, I enjoy it more and more every time I watch it. So I'm still giving it that rating. I'm sorry, but it just is the way it is. I gotta respect Paris Hilton for playing in this movie. She does a good job. She's actually a good actor in it. Again, a Supernatural reference. Jared Padalecki's in this, and in Supernatural, we actually have a joke episode where Paris Hilton is a wax figure. So it's kind of funny that that episode was brought up in there, and in the episode, Jensen Ackles, Dean, says, "I've never seen House of Wax," which was pretty funny, considering that this was a pretty successful film, and it is successful. I had fun with this movie. I always have fun with this movie. I always do. I recommend that you watch it if you want a really campy, cheesy feel. It's not scary, but it's definitely a horror flick, a fun horror flick. And it's if you want a fun time, just throw it on the TV, man. Just throw it on the TV. It's a lot of fun. It's deliciously creepy. Mm. Um, yeah, I Alicia Cuthbert did a good job, and I think the whole cast did a good job. Um, good fight scenes, some nice in there. Um, Great brother and sister dynamic. Again, like Jeepers Creepers, which I also like. Brother and sister dynamics work so well in horror flicks. They work so well because I'm close to my sisters plural. So I think that's why they work so well for me, in my opinion. That's personally for me, but yeah, I definitely recommend House of Wax. Do watch. Solid 8 out of 10. Do watch.